You're listening to Parasearch Radio, news, views and reviews from the world of the paranormal from across the UK and beyond. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web. Parasearch UK Radio. Parasearch Radio, broadcasting to the UK and beyond.
The views and opinions expressed by presenters and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Parasearch Radio or its affiliates and sponsors. Listener discretion is advised. You're listening to The Spectral Zone with host Caz Rooney.
Good evening everyone and welcome to the Spectral Zone on Parasearch Radio UK. I am Caz Rooney and tonight I'm going to be having a chat with the lovely psychic medium Sean Weston. Hello Sean.
Hello Caz, good evening.
How are you tonight?
I'm good, I'm raring to go, ready. Yes.
Very good. We like that. Now, as I was saying, you are a psychic medium.
Yes.
When did you discover your gifts?
I've been doing what I do as a medium for about 2 years.
Yeah.
But I've always had a gift of being able to see or sense and feel spirit near me. My first experience was when I was 4 years old. And
wow, you can still remember it vividly.
Yeah, I can. If I close my eyes, I can still see exactly what I saw. There was a man stood at the bottom of my bed. Yeah. And this happened various nights, and then we moved house because of it, because I just wouldn't settle.
Yeah.
And then it happened again in the new. We had another flat, and my mum walked in and she saw it. So we moved house again, and then I didn't see it again. I never saw that spirit. It was a man. All I remember seeing was more of a silhouette, and he had a hat on.
Yeah.
And I just remember screaming because he was really scary, and he had moths flying around his head.
Wow.
Which was really bizarre. But I was scared. And then since
that would be very scary if you're only young.
Yeah, for a 4-year-old. And I've read some stuff since then about quite a lot of people's first experiences are with a man who appears with a hat and in a long coat, and that's exactly what he looked like.
Wow.
And one of the theories of that is that's part of your awakening, almost like a protection of seeing what you can deal with.
Well, that's interesting.
But at the time, I didn't know that, and I was scared. And then since then, I've seen quite a lot of spirit from the age of 4 onwards.
Yeah.
And it didn't really scare me as much. That was the most scary. I didn't really get scared. And then I think my intuition, my psychic intuition, probably kicked in about 10 years ago, maybe a bit more.
Yeah.
Where I just knew things, and I started to pick up on things, that other people's emotions and things that were going on with people. In the job that I did previously, my intuition helped me in my career, that I knew if somebody was lying to me, I knew somebody was only giving me half a story, and it made me quite successful in the job that I did as a probation officer. Because I could use my intuition. I used to read my notes back after an interview, and there'd be words there that I don't remember writing.
Really?
Like liar or wife.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I don't remember writing that, and why did I write it? And then it turned out that I was perhaps picking up on things. And then a couple of years ago, I was getting more and more interested in the paranormal and in mediums work. I was watching loads of TV shows, so drawn to them.
Yeah.
Like Sally Morgan, Teresa Caputo, The Long Island Medium,
Yeah.
Most Haunted, all those shows, and I was just almost obsessed with them. And I remember saying to my partner, Tim, that perhaps I should go to one of the churches or do something. I feel like I should do it, and then I didn't. Then I decided to go to a friend of mine, and I went to a spiritualist church.
Yeah.
Then we booked the medium Sarah for a private reading.
Yeah.
And she just said to me, "You can do this. You could be a medium." And I was like a bit not skeptical. I was a bit like, well, I don't know. And then she started to explain a few things, and it just fell into place. So I went along to a spiritualist church, a circle, like a development circle. And from then, within 4 weeks, I was giving mini readings.
See, I find that interesting because I actually have a friend who is a medium as well.
Okay.
And she had me going along to her development circle. She actually barraged me to go along to the development circle. But for various reasons, I didn't get to finish the course.
Oh, okay.
But what I wanted to ask you, you said your mum saw that man as well.
Yes.
So was your mum gifted?
Yes. It's hard to... My mum's always had that gift, but has never used it.
Right, okay.
I've heard, as a child and as a young person, I heard her talking to friends about experiences, but she clammed up about it, I suppose, when I walked in or if she knew I was listening.
Yeah.
Then she told me a few things herself, but I think she shut it down. She just didn't know what to do with it. A couple of years ago, without going into too much detail about her, but she got quite poorly and she's lost some memory.
Yeah.
And she's had some change in her brain, and now she's amazing. She really can pick up on things, and
really,
it's as though the barriers have been taken down by her, and she can. She's
not blocking it anymore.
No, so she's not consciously blocking it, and she can't. And I think that she blows me. I mean, she blows me away. I went on a cruise recently.
Lucky you.
I know, it was amazing. It's the first time on a cruise, and I phoned her from one of the ports, and she said, "Oh, I saw you last night." I was like, "Did you?" She said, "Yeah, you was drinking a cocktail with pineapple in it, and you and Tim." I said, "Yes, we were watching a tribute act." She went, "George Michael."
Yeah.
And it was George Michael, and there's no way she knew that. I didn't know that until we was actually on the cruise, and it was a few days in before someone said, "Oh, there's a George Michael act coming on." So it was a bit like, how would she know that? And she says things to me all the time that just like blow me away. She's amazing. And my dad also had a gift as well.
Did he?
Yeah.
So you had it from both sides then?
Yeah, there's a gypsy link on my dad's side and on my mum's side.
Yeah.
Because I've been doing a bit of family tree work, and we found it's hard to pinpoint exactly where, but with this, my mum has said that there's a gypsy side to her, and I knew there was with my dad's side.
Yeah.
So I think it comes from. I think that's where the gift is developed. It's in the blood, and having two parents who had the gift, but I mean, my dad never used it. He just was very intuitive and very. The way he spoke about things, you just knew that he knew stuff. I suppose it could be a generational thing. It's just something that they never wanted to do, I suppose.
But that is something kind of interesting because my dad was very intuitive. But my dad spent an extraordinary amount of time trying to convince me that spirits weren't real, but he was the most intuitive man.
Really?
I'd ever met. So I'm kind of convinced that now that he's passed on, thinking about it over the years, I think he kind of knew the path I was on.
Yes.
And he was trying to stop it.
Yes. And I think
I'm totally convinced of that.
Depending on their experience as well, because I think my dad would. Thinking about my granddad, his dad would probably have been absolutely against it and freaked out because of the generational thing and because of. It scares people, and it still is an area that people spend a lot of time trying to disprove or are sceptical. And all I can do as a medium is just be myself and do what I do and give what I get, and then that person can take the message away. But I think in terms of generations, like my mum probably wouldn't have dared to sit down and try and do a reading for somebody.
Yeah.
Because it just would be seen as odd. And when you tell people you hear voices,
yeah,
you do get a
funny look.
You get a funny look, yeah. And although I know, it's strange that I always knew that the voices I heard, and if I heard sounds and stuff, I knew that it wasn't me, and I knew it wasn't in my brain.
Yeah,
no problem. I knew it was something else, and I know that I think I'll be able to distinguish mental illness and being a medium. Hopefully, I'm sure. Well, I'm sure I will.
Do you? I mean, obviously, you've been doing this for a couple of years now.
Yes.
So, do you feel now that you are doing it properly, you're on the right path?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel that I wish I'd done it before. I wish I'd been able to develop it before. But I think these things happen at the right time for the right reason.
Yeah.
My health deteriorated and I had to leave work. Mm-hmm. And once I'd left work, this developed. And it was like it was either I was given it as a gift to help me and to give me something back, or I was too busy and too preoccupied with my career and my job to be thinking about
developing it.
My life. So room was made in one way or another, and I was able to develop, and I'm still developing. And I don't claim to be anything other than I am. Really, I do my best to give positive, clear messages to people and guidance. But I still want to do. I still want to give, the best readings that I can. But I want to be able to do that.
Well, I mean, I watch you do quite a lot of lives. And I remember when you first started doing the lives, I remember we used to run about, there was myself and another couple of people, and we used to share this, run about sharing it in all different kinds of groups. Yes. And it very quickly became very, very popular. It did. And on the original page that I did them on, it was public, so people did share them. Yeah. And I remember looking, like an hour later, I look back and there'd be 1,000 or 1,200 views, and I'd be absolutely freaked me out. Just knowing that many people have looked and watched, and looking at like 800 comments on a video. Do you know what I actually remember when you first started doing them and we were sharing them around? I remember one night, obviously you were on camera, and Tim was in the background, and you said to Tim, "There's people from America. Why is there people from America?" And it's because I had went and shared it in a group, an American group. But you were kind of looking really puzzled for a second. You were kind of, where did they come from? I remember that, and I remember thinking, because I joked with a friend today, my friend Julia, and I said, I'm international. That's all we need to know is I'm international. And I've got I think 10 followers from America, and there's Australia and Canada. Yeah. And that blows my mind. It does. If I think about it too much, I can't. I just do what I do, and I try to reach as many people as possible. But I've stopped doing it's a closed group that I'm in now. It's not a public page, because I was getting I was getting trolled a little bit, which was a bit annoying. I could deal with it quite. The first time I got trolled and called a devil worshipper, I was quite thrown by that, and I had to really explain myself. And I shouldn't have. Looking back, I should have just carried on. Yeah. But then I found that I got a lot of demanding people, like demanding messages and readings and do it now. And having a public page can be quite difficult. So having a group it's got near enough as many followers, but I don't share the videos, so they don't go public. Yeah. So, and I'm okay with that. Because it can kind of take over. I mean, if you've got it public, then it's really, if you're getting these messages and things all the time from people demanding and asking questions and whatever, it's going to take over your whole life, really, isn't it? It did. And I had,
it got to a point where I was just didn't want to go on. I wanted to stop doing even checking messages or posting anything. And then I thought I'll ask somebody if they'll help me manage the group.
Yeah.
And get an admin person. And Vicky Lard, she volunteered first, and she just said, I can do that. And and because she's taken that stress and pressure away from me, that I can concentrate on actually doing the readings. But managing so many people and everybody wants something, and because people are in America or Australia, it's all different times, so it can take all day. I could be on the group all day answering
you could be
questions. So having someone to look after that has made it much easier for me to be able to concentrate and think about doing readings and developing other people and helping other people develop.
Well, I mean, have you ever came across someone when you've been doing your readings and you just could not read them? Have you ever came across someone like that?
I think I was talking about this yesterday with Tim. It might have been Tim. I can't remember. There was whenever I do my live readings, I always connect to spirit every time. But there was this one young woman who she asked for a card, and nobody stepped forward, and I got this blank with her, and I just couldn't connect at all. I was able to give her guidance from my guides, but nobody stepped forward. So I was still able to read her, but it wasn't. Nobody stepped forward for her. I felt like a failure for her. I thought, why can't I do it for her? The way I look at it, looking back, it wasn't the right time, or something was going on that she didn't need me to be giving her a reading or something. Because there's always a reason. The spirit working, I've learned with the spirit, they work in strange ways. They do what they want.
Yeah, they do, don't they?
My guides do what they want. I never challenge them. If I could say to a friend, I don't want to do that. That's not something I want to explore. Suddenly that's put in my path. Like dealing with negative energies and fighting and battling negative energies for people and trying to remove attachments. I said to a friend, Vicky, I said, no, that's not me. I can't do that. Within a few weeks of me saying that, that was put in my path.
Right.
And I was like, oh. And we had a difficult experience. We went to a house that needed some cleansing. Yeah. And it went quite wrong.
Really?
It just got really horrible, and the energy won, really. And we didn't clear the energy, and we didn't know what we were doing. There was three of us who were mediums, and we went in there naively thinking we just would be able to pick up what was in there. Yeah. And do something lovely and be all very lovely and spiritual about it. But this was a nasty energy, and we
had no intentions of moving.
No. And we then all three of us had a bad week. We had crosswords between us. We were falling out. I was falling out with myself. It was that bad. I was just I was getting on my own nerves, and then we worked out what had happened, and we got together and we shifted that negative energy from ourselves, and that was okay. Yeah. But we didn't shift it from the house, and I know that is still in that house. But that was a lesson. I thought, I don't want to deal with that. That's not me. I'm too fluffy for that. But then it's
too fluffy for that.
Yeah, I'm too fluffy for that. I just want to do nice things. But it's been that opportunity to help an individual remove a negative energy was put in front of me, and I did it. And I didn't know what I was doing. Yeah. I was guided, but my guides guided me through it, literally step by step. And I did what I was told, and I shifted this negative energy from an individual. And now that's been opened up to me, like other people have come forward and asked me to do the same. And So I don't challenge them. I don't say no. Because what they do is they throw it in, and I never take it for granted, and I always thank them for what I do.
How many guys do you have?
Oh, I've got, I think it's 5 at the moment. I've got a Japanese monk. Yeah. A geisha. She looks like a geisha girl, but she has 2 big swords on her back, so she looks like a warrior. I've got a Indian lady. Yeah. Native American man, and a gypsy lady. So yes, 5 plus 7 animals.
Wow.
So and they all work differently with me, and they all are there for a different reason.
Yeah.
Like I've got an owl, and to me an owl represents wisdom, and keeping a cool head. And when I see my owl, and if you look at pictures of my garden that I've put on my pages,
your garden's beautiful.
You can see the owls in the pictures. It's really bizarre.
Yeah.
I've got a white tiger, I've got a white wolf, a white stag, an eagle. I've also had a dragon that has been with me, which I just blew my mind. A dragon, as is very high spiritual protection. I needed it at that time, so that was an eye opener.
Yeah, because dragons are powerful.
Yes, and I didn't know, this is when I was removing that negative energy. I didn't know I needed that much protection and that much help, but that's when I saw my animal guides snarling. I saw my wolf snarling for the first time, and it was very strange because I can see them. They do show themselves to me.
Well, I mean, it's quite interesting you saying you've got that many guides. I've been having conversations this week. It's actually been an ongoing debate that's been going on for a few weeks between a few people about spirit guides.
Okay.
So I'd be interested in your views on this. Simply the way I put it is that I believe that you have certain guides that come in at certain times of your life.
Yes, I agree.
They'll come in when they're needed. But the more you progress, the more powerful a guide you're going to get.
Yes, I agree. And I think I've read up quite a bit because when I first started doing this work, somebody said to me, it was a medium, she said, your guides will help you. And I was like, what do you mean, guides? Who are my guides? And I didn't understand. So I had to find out about them. And then some of the things I've read haven't made sense for me, and that hasn't worked for me.
Yeah.
But my understanding is that you have guides from birth. You have a main guide who's with you from birth.
Yeah.
And then different guides come. You can have a guide for education. You can have a guide for relationships. You can have guides who work specifically with you with spirit work.
Yeah.
I think my guides for the first 40 years of my life have just been sat around rolling their eyes every time I've made a decision and done something, and just been, just been saying, "What are you doing?" Because they can't act on your behalf. You have to, because of free will, you have to ask them to help.
Yeah.
So I introduced myself to my guides. I met them, and I meditated and met them. So then, and I asked them to work with me, and I asked if it's okay to work with them.
Yeah.
But I think that my main guide, who's a Japanese monk, he's been with me always. And I was told by 3 separate people that I had a Japanese man with me.
Yeah.
And then I met him, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. Then I went to Japan, and that made even more sense because I saw him so much there.
I remember your trip to Japan. I remember all the photos that you and Tim were putting up and all the different things. And you looked so happy then.
Oh, it was.
You looked completely at home.
Yes, it was life-changing. It was absolutely that, because Tim won't mind me saying that he was the one who wanted to go to Japan, and he's talked about it since we've been together, and I was like, okay, okay, it's not really appealed to me. Then it started to appeal to me more, but then when I got there, it just became, it was like, this place is mine, Japan's mine. And it was like part of me had gone home, and I think it was because of my guide was with me. And he showed me what to do at the temples, and I'd never been to a temple, and he showed me when to bow, how to bow.
The temples were beautiful. I remember you posting all these different pictures and feeling quite jealous, actually.
Oh, it was, and the pictures the pictures were stunning, but they don't do it justice. And the feeling of the place, you can't capture a feeling, and it was absolutely stunning. And the feeling that I got there, I could have just sort of stayed. And if I was going to live anywhere else in the world, Japan would be at the top of the list. Really? Yeah, absolutely, because it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful country. The people are wonderful, but spiritually, for me, it made sense. Yeah. it's and so much other stuff slotted into place for me after that as well. But I think the thing with guides is knowing when to use them. I think knowing when to let them in and when to ask them. So I think that we can, all of us, people who are spiritual, people who aren't spiritual, people who can connect or can't connect, we've all got guides. And I really do imagine them standing around just rolling their eyes and getting bored. But as soon as you speak to them, they will work with you. And
see, what I tend to find is, I mean, you're a medium, so you work that way. I'm a sensitive, or I would class myself as a sensitive.
Definitely.
But what I tend to find is when I get too lazy, I guarantee you that spirit, I'm not so sure it's spirit, I think it's more my guides. Well, I will wake up in the morning and be bouncing about, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do, and it's all things I'd never planned to do.
Yes.
But it's like they're making me move, and they're making me do stuff and get things done.
Yes, and I listen to them. I know when they're wanting me to, because I speak to them, and I don't always hear them, and I don't always know what they're saying, but I know they're around. So if I need to know more from them, I'll meditate on that, and I'll go and speak to them, and then they tell me. There's one of them he hasn't spoke to me yet.
Really?
Oh, yeah, the Native American Indian. I always feel that I'm in trouble when I see him.
Do you?
Yeah, because he doesn't smile. He frowns.
He looks really stern.
He looks really stern. He's absolutely. I can't look him full on because he's absolutely beautiful. And I find that really difficult to say and hard to say because it's a really strange thing that he's so beautiful but he never smiles and he just gives me this strange look that makes me think, what am I doing wrong?
This might sound kind of strange actually, but Native American Indians, guides.
Yeah.
I've always envisaged them as very, very powerful.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Absolutely.
And I think that there's this image of them being like a chief or like a high, one of the more famous tribes or clans, but he's not, and I know he's not. He's like a runner, or he has no position, but he is very powerful. And when I've seen him when I've needed him, but it's almost like he told me off, like I've had to come to you, Sean, because you've done something that has made me have to come.
Oh,
I know, and I just feel it's really strange, but I think that he's a rare one. I've seen him about
to keep you in check, maybe.
Yes, I think that, and I think that because I get that feeling with it, I feel that that's the feeling he's giving me.
Yeah.
I don't feel that I'm making that up because my Indian lady, she's the one who tells me I have to take my shoes off when I do readings. So I know when she's around. Because I have this overwhelming urge to take off my shoes and socks. So I know when she's around because she showed me that she has bare feet.
Yeah.
And so when he's around, I know, and I trust that she's telling me that for a reason. So when I'm being told off by him, even though he doesn't say a word, I trust that and I believe that, and I think, okay, what have I got to do differently? What have I done wrong? What have I done wrong? What do I need to change?
See, that would really worry me.
Yeah, it's mostly been with me when I've worked against negative energy.
Right.
So he's come to me to give me that extra protection, and I think it could be that he's telling me off for doing that, or it could be that he was wanting to be somewhere else, but he still comes and he still helps and he still stands strong with me. So until he tells me out loud, you mustn't do that, I'll keep going. But they do give you a push and they do give you a shove, and I think that they're with us all the time. They give me a break.
Yeah.
They do give me a break. When I go on holiday, or if I'm not too well, they give me a break and they don't get close. And you guys I just think that this gift that I've been given can be taken away. So I'm going to do as I'm told. I don't think it.
Do you see it as a privilege? I
do, absolutely, and I thank my guides all the time, and I think that I talk to them every day.
Yeah.
In my garden, I have a circle that I go and stand in, and I protect myself, and I protect the property and the garden, and I speak to them and I thank them. And I always thank them for the knowledge and the trust that they put in me to do this work, because it can be taken away. And I think if anybody misuses it or gets too big for their boots or thinks they know everything, they'll prove you wrong. And I think they won't be. Nobody's bigger than them, if you know what I mean. It's like, you are given this as a gift.
Well, the way I see it, I mean, if you're a medium, you've been given a very specific job to do.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You have got this role to pass on and help loved ones.
Yeah.
Who are maybe grieving, or help others develop. Because I do believe that mediums should help other people develop.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think I see myself as the middleman. I'll be talking to my guides and spirit. I mean, spirit walk into the room and they stand with me, and I'm learning now to distinguish who's giving me the information, whether it's my guides or the guide I'm working with at that time, or whether it's spirit. It's taken me a while. It has taken a while between the guides and the spirit, and I'm the one in the middle. Then I pass on what I get, and then it's for the person who I give the message to. Yeah, it's their message, and it might not make any sense to me. I try to say, and I see things. Sometimes I see things really quickly, or hear things quickly. Yeah, and have to try to interpret that really quickly so that I can pass that information on. That's hard.
I have seen that in your lives before.
Yeah.
It's almost as if you're getting an absolute flood of information and you're trying to put it out all at once.
Yeah.
And you've got to get it all out.
Yeah, so I could be shown images. I get images in my head, or they say things, or they show me things, or they tell me whichever way that spirit wants to communicate. And then trying to interpret that and make sense for the person I'm giving the reading. Because quite often with the reading, that I can sit giving a person a reading, and all the way through they can say no, no, no. And then I give it them again in a different way, and they still go, not sure. And then you say one thing, and they go, oh, yes, I know what that is. I know what that is, and that means that, and then they connect all the dots. And it's the way that I'm interpreting the information that I'm given, because each spirit is different. Just as I think I'm getting used to doing a reading, they'll do something different. Because I used to have certain things that were, and I think I took it for granted that when they first give me a medical thing, like a medical feeling, that was the way the spirit, that was the spirit's medical problem. Yeah. So I got used to that, but now they can do it the other way around. I can say, oh, I've got this pain here, and the person I'm giving a reading will say, yeah, that's mine. I'm like, oh. I was like, well, no, I say that at the end. That comes at the end, and it throws me. But that's why I don't challenge. But they do what they want. If they want to tell me, if they want to tell me about someone's headaches, and they want to tell me at the beginning, then they will. I was just getting used to them telling me about themselves first. But they do it however they want to do it.
So now they're switching up a little bit.
Yeah. And when I first started giving readings, I knew they used to stand facing me, the spirit did. Yeah. So, and if they stood on a particular side, as I was looking at somebody, if they were stood on the right, that was Dad's side. And if they were stood on the left, that was Mum's side of the family. And it was... Yeah. And if the further away they stood, the further away they were in the family line. Yeah. That's gone now. So they come in and they face the person I'm giving the reading to. So I have to turn to them and have to look at them. And so that was like taking the training wheels off almost, and taking the stabilizers. Yeah.
Well, I mean, when I used to go to the development circle, and it's strange because it would only ever happen when I went to the development circle at my friend's church. I could be perfectly fine. And we would go into the circle, we would always do opening, we would always do the healing circle as well. We would always do our protection. And then the development circle would start, everybody would be sitting about, big circle as they do. And I mean, there would be about, say, 15 of us each time we went. But every time I went to that circle, I could sit in the chair and it would feel like my back was going to snap in two.
Yeah.
And I tried so many different chairs in the place for about 5 weeks, and then I realised it wasn't me, it was my guide.
Yeah, pushing you.
Yeah, my guide was letting me know as well he had a problem with his back. But I thought it was me. And then I started realising it's only when I'm in a circle it's happening.
Yeah.
And I thought, right.
Quite often when I spend time with people, I get their aches and pains. So I can spend a bit of time with somebody and like my mum recently has had a bad back. Yeah. But when I go to see my mum, I get a bad back and hers goes. So I've got it for the time that I'm with her. I take that bad back off her. That's very strange. It's happened to a friend's mum. She had a bad back and she came and sat in the garden and I was like, have you got a bad back? Yeah, I've got that pain, thank you. And that happened in a circle. There was a pregnant lady who came to the circle and I was getting pains and I felt like things were being pushed up and pulled and why am I getting these pains from her? And she's like, and she felt great. She felt brilliant. But I learned if you just touch that person, it gives them back. It gives the pain back to them.
I think I would be giving it back. I think I would be saying here, it's yours, you can own it. I'm not having it.
You get that in the circle because there's so much energy in a circle, in a development circle, that they're amazing places and amazing things to go to. And I'd encourage anybody to go to a development circle at a spiritualist church, just to get the healing that you get and to pick up on the wonderful energy that you get there.
It's quite a different energy, isn't it, when you're all sitting in a big group? Yeah,
and I always feel my gift's stronger when I'm with other mediums.
Yeah.
Because whenever I'm with another medium or another sensitive, things just, they amplify. It's like he's stronger, that person then picks up more. Like my son. My son is quite sensitive, and when he's with me, he can pick up things.
Right.
He says he doesn't really on his own, but when he's with me, he can see things, he can pick up things. So I'm trying to help him develop as well.
That'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Keep the family line going.
Well, it seems to be. I mean, I've had this argument before I won't say argument, I'll say discussion. I've had discussions before about whether or not gifts run in families.
Yeah.
I believe they do.
I do. A couple of years ago, I'd have been, I don't know, I have no clue. But having now experienced it and seen my mum, especially seeing my mum in the last couple of years, and how she is now, and then seeing my son predict songs that are going to come on next, and say things and pick up names, and I would argue that it runs in families.
Yeah, because like I said, my dad was really intuitive, but he kind of done everything to steer me away from that. But his mum used to read tea leaves and things as well.
Okay. So
I think that was part of it. He'd always grown up with it, and he probably thought, well, she's not doing that, and tried to steer me away from it, but it didn't work.
And because it's a different type of work, isn't it, with what you do and your investigations and your... Yeah. Because I know from your page that you try to dig deeper. You want to know the reasons why stuff's happening and why. I
think you have to question things, though.
Constantly questioning, which is good, definitely.
Yeah.
That's why we're here today to talk about that.
What I like about it, though, is when we have these chats, like me chatting with you now, I'll go away and take things from this conversation that we've had tonight.
Yes.
And look into them.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That's what I like about it, because we're always... Somebody can say something, you think, well, I've never really thought on it that way.
Exactly.
And then you look at it from a different perspective.
That's the development side that I've got naturally, I think. I think education for me has always been important. So that won't stop for me. I still want to educate myself and look at things from a different angle. I think when you read, there's so many people who write about mediumship and psychics and you have to take from it what works for you. And I've learned that you don't have to believe everything that's written. And like myself, I can only give you my point of view, and I can only give you from my experiences.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that I'm right about it. I can just tell you what I get and how I work. It's like things about protection. I try to get my members on my groups to protect whenever, even just looking at photos, they need to protect, and try to protect daily. But I've said to them, you'll find a way that works for you.
Yeah, exactly. Not everyone works the same way. No,
because I adapted my protection from somebody. She taught me how to do it, and I couldn't. After about 2 months, I couldn't do it like that anymore. And you have to visualize a lot when you're actually doing protection. And I was scared. I was like, why can't I protect myself? So I just did it my way, and suddenly that was better for me. And I say that to people: is read things on crystals, read things on psychic abilities, look at clairvoyance and clairaudience, and then take from that what makes sense to you, and use that for you. Because if you can't really learn these things, but you can develop them. And that's the thing about mediumship, that you can learn certain things about mediumship, but you can't learn to bring a spirit to you.
No.
Because when I do my readings, I can say to people, is there somebody in particular you want to speak to? And I can ask that person to step forward. Some mediums don't do that. They just, and at first I used to just bring whoever came through, but then I tried it. And I thought, I'll push myself and I'll test myself to see if I can request a particular person, and do it in a particular way to try to be respectful. And I've always, near enough, 99% of the time, brought forward the person that they want, which has made me develop. And that's
really good.
It's very humbling, but it also makes me appreciate what I'm doing from the outside rather than from the inside.
Do you find it difficult sometimes when you're doing readings to cope with the emotions that spirit are maybe giving you when they're getting emotional, when they're trying to pass something on? Do you find that difficult?
Yes, even I think I probably always will. What I have learned to do is distinguish what's mine and what's theirs.
Okay.
So, because what I ask before I do any readings is for my thoughts, feelings and emotions to be taken out of the equation. So when they give me something, whether it's love, pride, I know that feeling I'm feeling is spirit have given me that to give to the person I'm reading.
Yeah.
And so I can distinguish if there's a sadness and a pain, emotion. I can, to a degree, say this isn't mine, this isn't real. But when you see the reaction in the person, you see that emotion. As it resonated with them, and they go, that means the world, or that's what I've been waiting to hear. You can't help but be affected, and they're absolutely draining. When I do readings, I get absolutely, because I give 100% of myself into reading, and my readings, a full private reading with me is over an hour. Sometimes it's been 2 hours, because I just give everything.
Well, I mean, you are really busy. I mean, obviously, we were talking before we came on the show, and like you and Tim have just moved house. Yes. But you do your lives. You've got 2 groups going.
Yeah. You've
got In the Next Room, which is actually your development group, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, I love that group. It's quite new. I've been doing it a couple of months, and people have.
Yeah.
I've seen other people develop. And watching other people. What's funny is watching people develop and go, I can't do this, and then do it, or they say, I'm not very good at this, but then say something that is so spot on. I love it, and I love pulling it out of them and trying different things. I'm going on a ghost hunt investigation with the group.
Really?
Yes, this is going to be in a couple of weeks' time. That's going to be exciting, and also. I'm not going there to see what I can pick up, because I've been and I know what I pick up there. So I'm just going to go and see what everybody else picks up, and do my protection, because that's my personality. Yeah.
Do you know what I usually do?
What's that?
Just in case I mean, if you felt like it. What I usually do when I do an investigation, I take a load of pens and paper with me.
Right.
And whoever's there, if they want pen and paper, they can take it. They can just write down things.
Yes.
As they're going around. And it's actually quite interesting to compare it at the end.
That's a good idea, because I don't. What I have, because I've told them where we're going, because if you research the place, it doesn't actually the energies that are there doesn't come up in the research.
Okay.
If that makes sense, because the history of that place where we're going is so ancient that there's so much so many different energies there. The house that we're going to visit, where you can't go in the house because it's part derelict, but you can go outside.
Okay. Yeah.
That the history of that place doesn't actually. It's got nothing to do with the energies that are there in terms of spirit. So, people can do as much research as they want, and different people will pick up different things. And that's the same with two mediums sat next to each other. You can pick up different messages and different feelings. But it's going to be amazing to watch people who say they can't do it and say they're not very spiritual or they're not very good, to just see what they feel. And I'm pushing them to say the first thing they see, or to say the first thing that pops in their head, and to use that and to do that. I've got members all over the country, and it'd be amazing to be able to get everybody. So it's going to be local people to Nottingham and Derby who are coming on the investigation. You'll have to come along, Caz. Are you free on the 27th?
I'm actually in Nottingham on the 27th doing an investigation.
Oh, it's not coming to my mind. No, okay. Oh, that's a shame. We're going to do some more. Me and my friend Vicky, we're going to find some other places where we can take people. Probably. Okay. The place that we're going to is it's got different energies. It's got positive energies, but it's also got negative.
Okay.
So, and I know that because I've encountered them, so it's quite interesting to see people distinguish between the two.
Well, actually, after the show, I will sort something out with you, because I'm actually in Nottingham in February as well.
Okay.
But I can sort something out so I could be there a day earlier or a day later, and maybe do something with you and your group then.
Oh, that would be good. That would be amazing.
That'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah. See, I'm not good because we're not taking equipment. I mean, I've told people to bring a torch, sensible shoes, and as much protection as they can muster.
Yeah.
One member said, "Should I bring a baseball bat?" I don't think that'll work. But I think I'm hoping Tim will film as much as possible, and then I'll be able to put stuff on Facebook.
Yeah.
But it is about feeling and about picking up, and
you want them to experience and trusting themselves to bring out what they get. Yeah,
and I'll be protecting them anyway. My protection nothing will get close to them. I know that. Unless if they take themselves out of the protection, I can't do anything about that. But I'll be looking after everybody. So knowing that there's negative up there as well. Yeah. But they'll be okay. I'm hoping some of them are listening to this now and going, "Oh my God."
They'll be getting all nervous, bless them.
Yeah.
Like, oh no.
Suddenly won't be able to go. But I think we're not taking any equipment other than mobile phones, I think. So we may. But when I go to any investigation, I wouldn't take any equipment myself, because the way I look at it, I am the machine, I am the equipment. Yeah. If I can't pick up on it, then I don't want to see whether, When this place we're going to, we went there once, and somebody did take some equipment, but it all drained, all the batteries drained.
Well, I've had that one before. That was great fun.
Yeah, so they couldn't record, or they tried to do a Facebook Live from there. Nothing. Everybody's phones went. A part of mine didn't, but I didn't have Facebook Live then, but my phone did. And Tim went along. It's
frustrating when that happens.
Yes. So, I mean, there was too many people there. There was a lot of people there, about 20 people doing the investigation, people doing their own thing. And a small group of us stood and did like a bit of a circle and seen what we picked up. And then I just knew I had to go back. And I've been back a couple of times. and then we're going up in a couple of weeks to go and see what other people, because I probably wouldn't go back for myself.
Okay.
Because I know what's there and I've felt it, so I don't need, and there's some lovely energies up there.
Yeah.
So I know. So I thought I probably wouldn't go back. It was just for me, but because I really want the group to push themselves, and I know that a lot of them are interested in the ghost hunting side. Because one page isn't ghost hunting at all, really. Behind the veil, that's more the spiritual side.
Yeah.
But the development side is
in the next room.
Yeah, in the next room is development, and some of the paranormal stuff and ghost hunting comes within that. So
yeah,
and people love it.
You are actually really busy, aren't you?
I try to keep time for me and time for not doing spiritual stuff, if that makes sense, because I'm restricted to some degree by my health, and the last couple of years my health has been a bit rubbish, and I don't want to go talk too much about that, but I have to pace myself in terms of what I do, and I pace myself in terms of private readings. I don't do I could do them every day. I don't do them every day. I don't allow myself to get drained by the work that I do, and I can spend some days doing nothing, just looking at Facebook. That's it.
But I mean, I can understand why you have to do that. I mean, we've had many a discussion about paranormal hangovers after we've done a night's investigating.
Oh, absolutely.
And it is very, very real, the way you get completely drained when you do that kind of work, especially if you're working spiritually. You get very, very drained.
Yeah, and that's true.
If it takes a lot of your energy, it can take days to recover from it. So
it does. A friend of mine, we used to arrange to do things on a Friday, but then after I was doing my Facebook Lives on a Thursday night, that would either change or be delayed or cancelled. So she said, I'm not meeting you on a Friday anymore because of Facebook Live Thursday night. And so I don't plan to do anything after a Facebook Live, because it does just take. I mean, straight after a reading or going live, I'm quite not hyper, but my energy levels are really heightened, and I'm quite awake. And it would take me a long time to go to sleep, but then it's the next day for me that I'm drained from it, and it does. And it is like paranormal. It's like a hangover. It is definitely. It's a good way to describe it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've got the development group that's in the next room with Sean Weston. So if anyone wants to go and join that development group, it's a really good group. And I mean, you do tend to kind of step back, don't you, and try and get the members doing the work.
Yes, I do. And then, like I say, if I am drawn to the picture, I'll wait a couple of days and then go and say something. Just because I want other people. I don't want people to think that they can't say something after I've said it. I want them to still say what they feel and pick, because they'll pick up different stuff than I've picked up anyway.
Yeah.
But I have noticed that once I comment, it can die off. So I usually wait a little while then. But then I don't like wait if somebody doesn't comment for a day and there's no comments on there. I feel I've got to say something. I can't just leave no comments at all. So then it's a bit of a push and pull. But I do let everybody have a go, and I encourage all members to, even if they just say one word that came to them while they were looking at the photo, that's brilliant, and that's the start of developing. Just if you see one thing or one thing comes to you, that's amazing.
I think that's a really good thing that you're doing, actually. I really do think that is a really good thing.
I think a lot of people have got it and don't know. A lot of people, some people don't have it, and I don't. Some people say everyone's got it and it's in everyone. You just have to tap into it. I don't know whether that's true. I've not.
Yeah.
I don't know. But, my experience is that some people just aren't. I think of some of my family members, I just think I can't imagine them.
Well, I mean, if you spoke to my sister will turn around and tell you she's about as sensitive as a brick. That is her exact words.
Yeah.
She went, I don't know nothing, but if you walk into a room with me, it's different. If the two of us are in the room, I'll maybe pick up something she doesn't.
Yeah, and some of my friends don't pick up, and they just don't. And I think it's about frequency, and it's about there's all the, the science of it, the frequency that you can tune into and raising your own frequency levels and all those things. But I think that there's more people have got it than they realise. And I think trying, just doing that first, I mean, it's hard, isn't it, putting yourself out there. So when you're on a public page and you see a picture and you think, why am I thinking purple? Or why am I thinking about that? And then typing those words in for everybody to go and look, you are putting yourself out there. But I encourage that, because that first step can then open doors and open your third eye and open you up to developing even further. And that's how I got going. I was made to get up. in that development circle, I was pushed by spirit, but also my guides and people in the room were going, get up, get up, get up. And so I just got up. And
thank goodness you did.
Yeah, and I think if I hadn't have done it then, I might have thought, I'll do it next week, and I'll wait. And I think it was either week 3 or week 4 that I got up and I gave what I got. Yeah. And then from then, I've not looked back. And
see, I mean, I actually found when I was at the development circle, because it wasn't my way. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's just not my way. That isn't my way. I do it my way, you do it a different way, and it's just like that. That's the way it kind of felt to me.
Yes, and I've not been to I went on holiday, and then I didn't go back to the circle for one reason or another, and I've not been to one. I went to one, I think, probably around September, a local one. Yeah. But the one that I used to go to every week, I've not been back there for over a year. Wow. And I think, and it was working then. I think if I went now, it would be a completely different experience. Yeah. I don't know. I might try it and see what it's like, but I think it would be a completely different experience. And I probably wouldn't pick up. I might not pick up on anything at all because of the. Yeah. Certain people work in different ways, better in different environments. Some people can only do one-to-ones, and I've not worked at church. I've not stood up in public and done. Yeah. Any mediumship, and a lot of mediums go to. The Spiritist churches, they do a circuit every Sunday.
Yeah, they do all the circuit and everything, don't they?
Yeah, and they're confident getting up in the room. Yeah. That frightens me to death, the idea of getting up in front of people and doing it that way. And I'm confident. I'm a confident person, and Yeah. I'm okay when I do Facebook Live, but I don't think about the people who are watching. Because if I start
thinking about, you could do it.
I think you could do it. If I could stand up in church and close my eyes and not look at anybody, but then it wouldn't work. And it's just, I think that's not a strange thing, but I don't like being the centre of attention, or I don't like that focus.
That's just not your way.
No. And it feels that's a strange thing, having 2 Facebook groups and doing Facebook Live. I don't like to be the centre of attention, even though it can be a show off and it can be loud and all those things. I don't. That's not my personality. So standing up in front of a church and doing open readings and open mediumship does frighten me to death. I think I'll have to do it. I think it'll be one of those challenges that now I've mentioned it.
It'll get put in front of you and you'll have to do it. It's going to
get, people have tried. Some booking clerks have tried to book me. Yeah. They have tried to get me in church. It has been. Yeah. My name's known. It gets, without sounding big-headed, my name's become known within the local area because there's only so many of us in the area. Yeah. But I just say no. But I may now I've said no. I can just see my friend Vicky. If she's listening, she'll be going, "That's going to happen now." Because that's what. As soon as I say no to something, or I say I'm not doing, and then it gets. Suddenly I'm doing it, so we'll see. I'll keep you posted on that one.
Yeah, you can keep me posted. Yeah. Well, we have a rule on this show. Yeah. We, believe it or not, have been speaking for nearly an hour.
Wow, really? Oh, we have.
Really? See? And you were all nervous for nothing.
I was nervous.
Right. Before we wind up the show, I want you to tell me, it can be spiritual, paranormal, mediumistic, whatever, but I want to hear your funniest story.
Oh, no. I should have listened to one of your shows right to the very end, and then I would have known this was coming. My funniest story. Oh, no, I don't have any. Let me think. I've gone blank. That I really have gone blank.
Has Spirit ever tripped you up?
No, really.
No.
I've not experienced that where they've thrown something like a spanner in the works and given me.
Yeah.
I tend to can work out what they're telling me. I suppose what's the common story is when you're telling somebody something and you know you're right, and they're saying no, and then you just know that you're going to get a message 2 days later, and they say that everything you've said they've checked with their mum, and so they do that kind of thing.
What do they call that? Psychic amnesia, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not me, and then it's, oh yeah, it is.
Exactly. Some of my funniest stories would involve alcohol or would be too personal, majorly embarrassing to.
Well, we won't embarrass you
on the radio.
We won't embarrass you. But
I really can't think of a funny story. Everybody will be going, "What about that time we?" Or I can't think of a funny story.
Well, that's okay. If one comes to you, then I will make sure that you can tell me, and we'll post it onto the group page, and everybody can hear it.
Yes, but I can't think of. Oh, that's really bizarre. Out of all the things you could have asked me,
I know,
and I can't even think of off the top of my head a funny story. Embarrassing. That's stupid. I'm sure. I think as soon as I say bye to you, I know that
it'll pop in your head.
It'll pop in my head. Yeah.
Well, Sean, it has been an absolute pleasure chatting to you.
Thank you, Caz.
And I hope you're going to come back on. What I'll do is, when we're finished up, I will arrange with you for when I'm coming through to Nottingham, and if we can do something while I'm at Nottingham, then we'll come back on and do another show about that.
Amazing.
Okay?
That'd be amazing.
Yeah?
Love that, definitely. Thank you.
No problem. Right. So anybody that's listening, if you want to join Sean Weston's development group, it's called In the Next Room with Sean Weston. That is on Facebook. Yeah. And Sean, you do your lives on your other group, which is Beyond the Veil.
Yeah, Behind the Veil.
Behind the Veil, sorry.
Yes. It's okay.
Behind the Veil was with Sean Weston. That's usually a Thursday night, isn't it? You do lives when you do them.
I usually do them on a Thursday.
Yeah. So everybody go and check out Sean's groups and see what that's all about. And thank you so much for listening. Thank you again, Sean.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Caz.
You're welcome. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to join us for more shows throughout the week. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and the World Wide Web to keep up to date with all the shows right here on Parasearch Radio.